Okay, so Bismillah Rahman Rahim, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Let's gently recite Surah Al-Fatiha as an opening dua, then we can proceed from there.
This call is now being recorded.
Bismillah Rahman Rahim, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin, Rahman Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Now, so basically, I am pleased to welcome everyone to this session today. Our focus for today is just to help us learn how we can navigate through school portals, Erasmus catalog also to get like opportunities and to like the most important details that we need to be aware of, right? And we brought like two able people that can actually speak to this topic properly, and they're going to be speaking to us within the next couple of minutes. A special message from our team advisor and the grand mentor, like they wish to be here, but due to some other engagement, they're not going to be here. And they asked to extend their greetings to everyone and to appreciate our speakers. First person is Brother Fatal Lawal, who is an Erasmus Mundus scholar, and Brother Yusuf Adebaki, who is currently doing his PhD in the US in nanotechnology. I wish I can pronounce the name of this school, but the English is quite technical for me, a little bit technical. So I'll be handing over now to Brother Fatal Lawal. Can you confirm if you can hear what I'm saying, please? Okay, so he's going to be taking us through like speaking to us about Erasmus Mundus Scholarship, the important things that we need to know, and how we can navigate through the catalog to like search for like opportunities and the programs that we can actually say. Like if, for example, you want to apply to a particular program, these are the information that you need to know about it. These are the things that you need to be aware of, right? Now, over to you, Brother Abdul Fattah Lawal.
Assalamu alaikum wabarakatuh. I trust we're all doing well today. Before I proceed, if it's not too much trouble, I mean, I would give a short introduction about myself shortly, but I would also appreciate if maybe we could use, say, 5-10 minutes to just have a quick introduction. So I sort of like understand the audience, because I imagine depending on what the audience is, it would sort of influence what I would be saying. Not like I would be hiding some information, but it's more like, oh, you probably need this information more than this information. So without further ado, let me start. So my name is Abdul Fattah Lawal. I am currently having my master's degree at the University of Strasbourg. So I got the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship, I think 2022, yeah, 2 years ago. So I'm currently enrolled in the chemoinformatics program. So my bachelor's degree was in chemistry, but now I'm doing chemoinformatics. So yeah, I think that's like the shortest introduction ever. Well, please, let's just use the next 5-10 minutes so everyone can say one or two things about themselves. Specifically, are you still studying? Have you graduated? Have you like started this application journey? Just so I have a rough overview of who the audience are. Thank you.
Jazakumullah khairan. Can we have some of us try to introduce ourselves, whether we are still studying, what we are doing? Okay, let me go first. So my name is Yusuf Olani, right? Currently in my final year studying civil engineering in the University of Lagos. So I think we can also use that format. I don't know who wants to go next, or should I just call on people as I'm seeing it on my screen here? I can see Abdul Shakur Abdurrahman. Do you want to go next? Abdurrahman?
Yes, I don't know if you can hear me now.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So I'm Abdul Abdurrahman. Yeah, I'm a fresh graduate of mechatronics engineering. Into have postgraduate in artificial intelligence or something like mechatronics engineering.
Sorry, just
Significant.
to confirm, you said you are a fresh graduate. Is that what you said? Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. Abdurrahman, I don't know if you heard what he said. He was asking, I think he said he's a fresh graduate, but I didn't hear the other things he said.
Oh, okay, okay. No, I just wanted to confirm
Yeah,
if
okay,
you
yeah. I said
said
I'm a
fresh
fresh
graduate.
graduate of mechatronics.
Okay,
Okay, I don't
I
know if
can
you got
see.
that. Okay.
Yeah, I heard you. I don't know if you heard him. Okay, so I can see Abidin Mohammed. I don't know if you want to meet yourself and introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm Abidin Mohammed, a graduate of information technology, so planning to go for a master's outside the country, obviously, in the field of computer science or mathematics, with special focus on artificial intelligence. Thank you.
I mean, if people are being shy, you could also just utilize the chat feature so that way it would be faster. I mean, rather than having to wait for him to call your name individually. Again, it's nothing serious. I just want to know, oh, majority of the audience are fresh graduates or majority of the audience are final year students. That's like the major intention for the introduction, really.
All right, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Otun Mariam. So I actually had my BSc in chemistry from University of Lagos, and I finished last year. And I intend to do my postgraduate studies in pharmaceutical chemistry.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. My name is Kosin Offline. I recently graduated from the University of Illinois. I studied electrical and electronics engineering, and I'm looking to have my master's in controls and automation engineering.
All right. Thank you so much, really, for the short introduction. And I will just go with the assumption that majority of us here, or majority of the audience rather, are fresh graduates. I hope that's a good assumption, really. But if it doesn't apply to you, I'm sorry. We did open the floor for short introductions. So by fresh graduates now, the assumption is, oh, you just finished school, or maybe you're currently serving, or you just finished your service. So that's the assumption I would be going with. And with this assumption, it's probably true that you must have at least tried submitting an application or so. So again, I'm not going to start from the very beginning of saying, oh, to go to graduate school, you need this and this. I want to assume some of us have that experience. So I will just be focusing mainly on the Erasmus scholarship. So what is the Erasmus scholarship? I honestly do not have anything prepared. Like there are no slides or anything, so I would pretty much just be saying it as they come to head. So please, if perhaps maybe while I'm talking, you have any questions, please feel free to interrupt me. Just let me know so I would be able to respond to that question. It might be something silly, something basic. Don't worry about that. The fact that you're thinking about it, it means others are probably thinking about it. So there is no too silly question basically. Like I want it to be engaging as much as possible. Okay, so that being said, um the Erasmus scholarship is pretty much a master's scholarship. There used to be the option for a PhD, but it was stopped some years back, maybe 5 years, 6 years, can't quite remember the exact year. But currently, what we have is the Erasmus Master Scholarship. So the first thing I should probably mention is why is it different from other scholarships? I mean, So long as it's postgraduate, you would imagine it's the same thing. So one thing I really like about the Erasmus scholarship is rather than the traditional applications where you apply to school or you apply to a particular university or you get a research supervisor, that's not necessarily the case when it comes to Erasmus Mundus. So if you are like me, okay, if you were like me rather, that's quite lazy and the stress of having to look for supervisors. Well, I won't call it stress. I mean, it's your future. You have to put in effort really. But sometimes the whole you have to get a supervisor before you submit the application can be really overwhelming. And sometimes you send cold emails to professors, you don't get any response. So all those that can be very devastating. Okay, devastating is a strong word, but yeah, it can easily reduce your morale. But in the case of the Erasmus Mundus, you pretty much do not need to go through that all those stress. However, the very first requirement of Erasmus Mundus is you need to know what you want. So you're probably confused or probably thinking, oh, that's easy. I need to know what I want. I mean, I want to get a master's degree or I want to leave the country. But unfortunately, that's not what I'm referring to. Say, for instance, you are studying chemistry, as I think it was Moa, if I'm not wrong, that mentioned she's studying chemistry. It's not like, oh, there is one chemistry, there's analytical, there is pharmaceutical, there's organic, there is inorganic, and the like. So even within this broad fields, there are like different subfields. So you need to have this degree of clarity that yes, this is exactly what I want, or rather, based on my experience, my past previous experience, and maybe bachelor degree, this is the field I think would be I would be more qualified for. Let me take my case for instance. So chemistry, I studied chemistry, but I did not like, say, organic chemistry. That's weird. I did not really like what's the word, analytical chemistry. Physical chemistry was a bit too much. But back then in school, I was into what's the word, coding and the like. So when I found cheminformatics, that is sort of a major between um chemistry and computer science, I was like, oh, this looks good. So you could see that it's not really a broad field. It's a really I think it's called niche. You need to have that. And by extension, that's how it works. So in the next couple of minutes, I would be showing you the catalog so you would understand what I'm referring to when I say you need to know for a fact what you want. And even if you don't know for a fact now, it's also fine. When you're going through the catalog, you would see various options, and you just really have to pick the one that resonates the most with you. So that's the very first requirement for the Erasmus Mundus. You need to know exactly what you want. Then, secondly, you need to get your necessary documents. I say necessary because I want to assume um, we are familiar about that to some extent. Again, if you are not, just let me know. So, for instance, your statement of purpose, your passport, your proficiency, English proficiency letter. So, some programs would require you to submit this standardized result. Others would say, so long as your university can testify that the courses are being taught in English, that's pretty much fine. You do not necessarily need them gray and GMAT when it comes to the Erasmus. And oh, sorry, I skipped a fundamental, a big thing about the Erasmus. So it's Europe specific, so it's being sponsored by the European Union. So it means that if your target is, say, maybe UK or the US, then maybe this is probably not for you. But if you don't mind exploring, if you don't mind considering other cultures and other countries, then yeah, Europe is definitely a good continent to be in. So you're probably also wondering, so do I like pick a specific university also? It's well, the answer is yes and no. So on one end, it's okay, plainly speaking, it's a double degree. So at the very least, you would pass. Okay, I saw your question, Abidin. I would respond to it shortly. Well, plainly speaking, the Erasmus program requires you to go through at least, at the very least, two countries. So it's a plus for you if you like, if you want to explore and I don't know, maybe tick your boxes of traveling to multiple countries or the same thing or the likes. So some programs every semester you have to move to a different country, different university. But in my case now it was just two universities. So Milan and Strasbourg. So I've covered what the Erasmus program is. Generally, it's a master program. It's sponsored by the EU. It's a fully funded program. That's if you got the scholarship, of course. Lately now, some programs are requiring that, or rather, are putting the options for self-sponsor. So you would get the admission, but if you're able to take care of yourself, that's accommodation. Basically, they won't pay you stipends. If you're able to take care of yourself after that, then sure, by all means, you would be welcome. But at the end of the day, the target is getting the scholarship because you get the monthly stipends of 1,4 euros, 1,004. You don't have to pay tuition fee. Typically, this stipend should be enough to cover your transport fees, your visa application fees. Um, you should even be able to save really your relocation cost and everything. So it's all encompassing. It's a 2-year program. Rather than traditional, say, MSc in chemistry, it's program specific. We would be seeing that shortly. What else? What else? What else? What else? Yeah, I think that's like a general overview of what the Erasmus scholarship really entails. So now we're going to have like a short question and answers. If there's anything I missed, you can just let me ask me. I would try my best to answer. Then after the Q&A session, we would proceed to walking through the catalog so you can also apply by yourself whenever you want, or if it looks like it's something you're interested in. So the very first question by brother Abidin, he said, does it require TOEFL, IELTS, and I have no idea what DET means, so maybe you would clarify that. But for TOEFL and IELTS, it's program specific. So some programs, like I mentioned earlier, would require you to get this standardized test, and some programs would just tell you that sure, if so long as your university can give you a letter that shows that Duolingo, okay, it's the same thing. So long as your university can testify that yes, the programs were being taught in English. I mean, I don't think any of our courses were being taught in languages other than English, but you get the idea. So long as your university can give you that letter for some programs, it usually suffices. There is a third option, which is somewhat like a mix. So, yeah, Ahmad, one sec. So the third option now is you would submit the what's the word? The proficiency letter from your school. Then when you get to the university, you then take this IELTS or TOEFL, and it would be sponsored by the university. So that's like the three options. Yeah, Ahmed, you have a question? Or maybe I'm running out of time.
Yes, I have a question. So my question is, I know like for MSc, there's usually like a research master and like the normal masters that you have to complete some courses. The
Mhm.
Erasmus program, is it research based or is more of classes than research?
Oh, that's an interesting question, actually. Um, I wouldn't say it's like specifically courses, specifically research, because this can vary program by program. But for me, for instance, my course now is pretty much courses, but at the fourth semester, you don't take courses. It's more like a 6 months internship. So now this internship can either be in academia or industry. So I don't know if that answers your question, but really it's what's the word? It's program specific. Different programs would have what works for them, and that's why it's very important when applying that you go through everything that's mentioned in the websites. Each program again has its individual website, and we would see that shortly. And also, as much as possible, it's also good to get in touch with people that are basically scholars. Oh, no, I don't like using that word scholars. Basically, people that got this scholarship, they would be able to provide you with first-hand information. I mean, the basic information at the very least would be on the website, but typically it's always good to get in touch with people that are currently enrolled in the program of your interest. Okay, so any other questions? Well, that is odd. Nobody has questions. Not even how is the weather. Um, I mean, I imagine by 2:35 we can start exploring the catalog. So there's still like 4 minutes. So it could be anything
Okay.
really. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. So I just want to ask. I know that we have two. It was called master's program, the research, and the it was called work or class based. So, what will you be advised for someone that's probably just want to have a stress free master? It's not really a stress free, like at least which one is stress free less? The stress is kind of lesser in terms of oh, I just want to have a master's. I'm still going to be working. Not that I really want to be focused. Or for some people that they just feel like, let me just go and do this master's to use it as a means of jackpot. If I see job, I can just stay. So it's not really like they like book like that. Book two did not like them. You get. So the person is not looking
Um,
for. Let me go and choke myself and pick the type of master that will choke me later on. So which one do you think the person should be considering?
Honestly, that's a different ball game entirely. So I imagine someone that's thinking that way would probably be more open to self-sponsored masters and not necessarily fully sponsored masters. Because at the very least, I mean, with that mindset, really, I mean, it's not like the bad mindset. I mean, nobody likes stress, but I imagine if you've really like put in the effort and came out with like a very good grade and the likes, you would probably not want to say, "Oh, let me just do the masters for getting another master's degree sake." I don't think the Erasmus program is that lenient that you would just go because, oh, I just want to get a master's degree. It can be very competitive, really, because every year, it's not just the Nigerian thing that okay, I forgot to share some numbers. That would have probably set the stage. So every year, each program would take around 22 students max of fully funded that would get the scholarship and the like. And you're not just competing with fellow Nigerians, you're competing with the rest of the world. And where it's crazy is that you can really have a very good score but the quota would just be against you. So in a given country now, again depending on the program, but there are like quotas for countries. So for example, you would see a quota like we can't take more than 3 students in a country. So with that mindset, I don't think you would even maybe get to that stage that 3 students. Yeah, I don't know if I answered your question really correctly, but as much as possible, it should be something you really want and you're really ready to put in the efforts. What are the major things that makes an application stand out in Erasmus? Um, I know some programs would, I keep on referring to programs, inshallah, would see that shortly. They would specifically tell you what they're interested in. And it's not really so long as you have a first class degree, you're assured you would get the scholarship. It's not really like that. It's almost like a mixture of, okay, your grade, maybe that would take what, 20%, 30%, your previous experience, the relevant courses, because I mean, we all took, say, bachelor in chemistry, but it wasn't as though we took the exact courses. So some programs would have specific courses they're interested in. For example, oh, did this person take any courses related to programming, or did he take any courses related to physical chemistry and the likes? Also, your SOP is very important. You need to be able to convince them, oh, I really want this. I have the good experience. This is what I stand to gain. This is what you stand to gain, and the likes. What else? I think those are like the major three things, basic. Oh, and also how your interview goes, because you might have like a very good documents, that's CV, SOP, and the likes. But if you're not able to defend this during an interview session, then they would probably favor someone that's able to talk about, oh, this is what we learned, this is what I've done, and the likes. So I hope that answers the question, Yusuf. Also, for someone that intends to do his or her master's in a different field, how could the person craft the application? I guess your major what's the name here would be your SOP. At the end of the day, you should be able to convince them that yes, um, you would thrive in this new field. You have the necessary experience or background that sort of like what's the word? Provide you basically you have to convince them that yes, you can be worth spending on, if that makes sense. Aside the normal documents, also, I mean, you could take what's the word? MOOCs. That's all these courses on Coursera and the likes. You could also maybe some volunteer experience and the likes. So basically, you should think how best can you sell yourself. That's it. Aside the normal application documents like SOP, blah blah blah. Are there other documents that specular to Erasmus? Well, that would probably be, it's a minor one really. What did they call it? I think proof of residence. Yeah, but it's a minor thing. Basically saying, oh, hey, you can easily get this like in a local court saying, I currently live in this state in Nigeria. Basically, they just want to know, oh, you are actually in Nigeria. There is still Yusuf. Can you please walk us through what the process looks like? Okay. So I'm guessing this is the cue for me to show you how the general application process looks like, right, Ahmed?
Yeah, sorry, just before then, this is still useful actually. I signed it with the account so I can record the session. So
Oh,
a follow-up questions to like one of the questions that I asked earlier is like, for in my case, and I'm studying civil engineering, right? But like the kind of
mhm,
MSc or PhD I would like to do is in like application of AI in structural engineering. But for my courses, we only have like one computing related course, though there are some
mhm,
other like mathematical courses that are relevant in AI, right, that I did as part of my general engineering courses. And I've
mhm,
worked on projects and some other online courses to get. So in that case, right, maybe our project supposed to be carrying like more weight in my CV, or should I speak more about that? Because if I was going to speak more to like my schoolwork, it might not be more of the AI part of it. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm doing civil engineering. I want to transfer to AI civil, like integrating AI with civil, and these are two different, not entirely different things. Like, how can I maybe merge them in trying to craft my application document?
Well, thank you for clarifying that. Yes, they are not technically two different fields. So I guess maybe this question would be better answered when we see how the catalog looks like. As I mentioned earlier, it's program you're applying to in the Erasmus. You're not applying to a field of study, you're not applying to a department. It's not like you're applying to maybe the Department of Civil Engineering or the Department of Computer Science. It's basically the European Union coming together thinking, oh, what area of life basically should we have more skilled hands in? So it could be, oh, with the advent of AI and drugs, for instance, we need a course specifically for AI and drugs. So it's not like, oh, because so domain knowledge would always be important, especially when it comes to application of AI. So you're already at an advantage, I would say. So now, if you were to see a program that has what's engineering AI, then boom, you have it. So they would obviously not expect that, oh, you should have already done extensive work on AI. You should already be a guru and all. After all, it's a master's program. Even a PhD program would still have opportunity for learning and the likes. It's not like you should come with your knowledge. So long as you're able to prove that you are able to learn, you you have strong interest in this, you have the necessary qualifications, then you are good. Also, one advice or one tip, really, because when I look at qualifications of some people, I begin to wonder, how did I get in? So you should always look at be on the lookout for when these programs are being released. One more details I failed to mention earlier was so these programs, they typically also apply for funding from the EU. For example, the program I'm currently in, chemoinformatics, so it was made by a couple of professors and universities. So they had to apply to the European Union that, oh, we are interested in setting up this program. These are the benefits for the European Union, blah blah blah. Then the European Union would fund them for like 5 years. After that 5 years, the program have the opportunity to reapply again, that reapply to the EU. So it's funny because we are applying to the school, to the program, but the program is also applying to the EU. So depending on the priority of the EU, they would, just to clarify, EU means European Union. So they would either renew that contract, that still give the program more money, or they would terminate it. And just like how people are renewing contracts every now and then, some programs would also terminate their contract that, oh, we did not get funding, so we can't sustain ourselves, so we are not taking any more applications. Also, new programs do come up. So as much as possible, be on the lookout for these new programs, because by very definition, new program means less people would be aware of it, and with less people being aware of it, you stand more chances. But let's try to see your case, Yusuf, by walking through the catalog. Hopefully, we'll be able to answer the question practically. Does that work for you? Okay, awesome. So let me join with my system. Just 1 second. Uh, yes, 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 yes. Hello, hello. Can you hear me? You should be able to hear me, but just to confirm. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Awesome. All right, so I would be sharing my screen now. 1 second. Yeah, so you should be able to see my screen now, right? Yes, I believe. So the very first thing you want to do is just go to Google and type Erasmus Catalog. It's really straightforward. Let's go with the first option. Why not? Yeah. Aha. So hide, accept. So basically, you want to be here. You want to be saying this. For example, now, when I said programs, this is what I was referring to. So we technically do not have a department of sports ethics and integrity in any university, but rather a couple of universities come together to hold this specialized program in sport ethics and integrity. I'm also curious as to what it involves, but yeah. So you could also see the various participating countries. So it means if you were to enroll in this program now, you would at the very least pass through at least two of these countries. So Belgium, Spain, Germany, UK, Greece, and the likes. So say for instance, oh, forestry, those that studied forestry, food systems engineering, neuroscience, international humanitarian action, and the likes. Also, you could search by country. So if you are specifically interested in any country, you just put it, and only those programs that have been taught. Well, more like, how do I say this? The programs in which are being held that has at least one mobility in that country would come up. So let's clear all. Let's clear all. So field of study. I think Yusuf, you said, what was it again? Civil engineering and AI, right?
Yes.
So broadly speaking, what would you classify it as?
It should be under information science and engineering, I believe.
Okay, so that's enough. Let's say from 2023, search. So what this now means is there are 13 Erasmus programs that are associated with information science and engineering. So the first, georesources and engineering, I don't know if that sounds like something interesting. Then smart cities and communities. This probably looks interesting. Definitely not microwave electronics and photonics. Definitely not this multi-phase systems for sustainable engineering. I have no idea what that means. Joint master program in imaging. Nope. Risk assessment and management of civil infrastructures. International. This probably looks interesting. I imagine you could use maybe AI for risk assessment, I think. So we'll pin that. What else? Also, if you see anything that looks interesting, just call my attention to it. You probably know best these
I think
terms.
there's one on smart city.
Where is
The
it?
smart city is kind of similar to something I'm interested in. It's one of the first options.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Then which one again? Image processing. This is probably strictly AI and doesn't really have elements of, I think. Advanced design of sustainable ships. Do you like ships?
Yeah, but,
Technologies for societies. We'll probably see what that contains. Sustainable system engineering. So basically, this is like a very rough idea of how to filter what program you might be interested in. You just have to go to the field of study, then pick whatever category you think your course or interest falls under. And by default, it's always good to work with your bachelor degree because you would sort of like have an edge, if that makes sense. So now let's see how this works. So the first was smart cities. So each program has its individual website. So for smart cities now, it's SMARTS. No, I want to open in a new tab. Ah, shoot. Okay, no worries. So now, blah, blah, blah. Deadline to submit has been extended. Oh, 15th March. In case you're interested, you could probably still make it 5 days. So also, little heads up, so long as, how do I put it, you technically do not need to have finished studying before you apply. Since you're in your final year, if you have what's the word, assurance that when the school resumes, you would have already gotten your necessary degree and the likes, and you could also apply. Like nobody stops you. It's not like, oh, you need your certificate to be ready, but before you resume the program, it has to be ready. That's like the only clause. So what the program is about, you do not need all this necessary information. So the funding thing I mentioned earlier, so it looks like it's a new program actually. We're in 2024, so it started last year, so maybe not a lot of competition there also. So from 2023 to 2029, that's 6 years. So it means by 2029 they have to apply for funding again from the EU, and then the EU would decide whether to accept or not. Energy, transport, blah blah blah, and ICT. So that's also looking interesting. Delivered by 4 European universities. So Belgium, Greece, Spain, and Finland. Ooh, Finland is cold. Then how to apply. They've already given you a link. Also, you might want to check the brochure to see what it's about. Instructions. So here now, what do you need? You need the application form, motivation letter, the thing I mentioned earlier, the CV. Okay, I forgot to mention this. So for the EU, there is something called the Europass template. So it's looking like this. Basically, it's just a different way of preparing your CV. Where is login? Where is login? Please tell me it saved my password. Yay. You can easily just create an account. You technically do not need to no, I don't. So it's very easy. You just create an account. You have a bunch of fields to fill. So your description, your education and training, projects, blah blah blah. So you just fill as appropriate. Then at the end, it generates this CV for you. I think I have one actually. I think this one. Yeah, so this is how it would look like fancy, basically. So I like to just think of the Europass format as a fancy way of preparing your CV. So yeah, you should also look into that. Copies of awarded degrees. That's your, what's the word, first class, second class, blah, blah, blah. Transcripts, if you have any certificates, ID card, and the proof of residence thing I mentioned earlier. So they would let you know how you have to go about attaching it. For some programs, they have like a sophisticated system where it's like a drag and drop. For some programs, you just compile everything into one PDF and send to them. Oh yeah, then reference letter, always important. So for this case, name two referees, applicants must contact, blah, blah, blah. Make sure they would. Oh, also, your reference letter is very important. Please pay attention to it. There are the templates. What does the template look like? Let's see. Again, if I'm speaking too fast or if I'm already running out of time, please call my attention to it. So this is how they want theirs. You know, typically when you ask your professor for a reference letter, they maybe have their letter-headed format and the likes. But this is how they want theirs. Just name, capacity, strength, how do they think you are suitable, and basically this. So yeah, please pay attention to that. So let's see about the program itself. What is it about? So city sustainability. So it means in your what's the word? Statement of purpose, your motivation letter, there should definitely be mention of at least two or three of these things. It should show that, oh, you actually went through the website. Let's see, what else? First edition 24. Oh, they would even be starting this year actually, not last year. Interesting. So partners, let's see the program structure. So it's spread over 2 years during the first 3 semesters. So for the person that had asked if it was research purely or course basis, this probably answers part of your question. So during the first 3 courses, students take courses, then so either in so each university has their specialization. So if you're interested in urban planning and the likes, then this is what you would pick. Then this should be what you're interested in, Yusuf, information and communication technology. So it means, was this Belgium? I think this was Belgium. This would be, so at the application form, there would be the option for you to choose what track you want to follow. This will be probably what you're interested in. Common language is English. Some courses maybe in their native languages. Ouch. Fourth semester, you get to do your master thesis. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. You can learn more about the thesis, the degree, and any other information Again, this is always program specific. So as much as possible, first get the programs you're interested in here, get their direct link, make a collation of what they are interested in. That's what they need from you. Also the timelines. Oh, there is an online application form. So yeah, I don't know if you have any questions. Oh, can you share the link? Yeah, sure. I mean, it was straightforward, but okay. Copy link address. Yeah, Ahmad or Yusuf.
Yes, yes, actually. My question is, I observed that when you were searching for like the year, there's like 2023 to 2019. What happened if, for example, the program you're applying for is say for this 2023 to 2020 to what's it called 2029, right?
Mm-hmm.
If probably my program is from say 2029 to like 2030, which means they probably have to apply for funding within my program. In that case, like what happened? Like, is it still advisable to apply? And even if I applied and I got it, what if you decide, okay, we are not going to be funding you guys for 2030 upward? What happened to those that have started the program?
Oh, the moment you get in, you are in. There is no any other thing. So long as you've gotten in, you are in. So in the case of say for example, it ends by wow, I mean, look at this money, it's huge. So in the case of this program that ends by 2029, it means once 2029 comes, they would inform that so we are applying. So from this intake onwards, that basically they would not accept anybody in 2029 because there would be no fund to like take care of them. So it's not like they just apply and they keep on. Everything is based on budgets. The moment they know what would happen if they accept 20 people, there's already like the provisions already been made. The moment you have been enrolled and all, you've already gotten your allocation. I don't know if that makes sense. So what's left for them is just to be giving you monthly, but it's not like, oh, middle of the program, funding runs out also. It's not like that. And obviously, one strict criteria is you have to at least at the various minimum pass all the courses. So that way, that's like one way to assure your what's the word scholarship. I don't know if there are any other questions.
Yeah, I have a follow-up question though.
Yeah, sure.
Not about this one, but like, is there any form of commitment that, or if you're an Erasmus scholar, you have to maybe after a program you have to do this, or maybe if you did not get a job within like 2 years, you have to go back to your country, or compulsorily you have to go back to your country after your program, or you have to work in the EU. Like, I don't know if something like that is for Erasmus.
Oh, yeah, that's actually a very good question. So I imagine you thinking about it in line of is it Chagnin or what's the word? Commonwealth. So the EU is actually quite flexible. I had that same thought that wait, you just pay me literally because they are paying you to study and there's like no expectations from your end. So you could finish the program and decide, oh, I want to proceed with a PhD in the US. Sure, by all means, nobody's stopping you. Or you could finish and say, I want to go back to Nigeria. Sure, no problem. You could also decide to stay back. No problem, also. It's like their only commitment is they just want to train students. They want to be a leader in global education and all. I mean, if you train 20 people, at least one person would contribute. I guess that's like the mindset they have. There's no like this strong expectation that you have to develop something. It's just a normal MSc degree. Just get it and that's it. I mean, after studies, you could, this varies country by country, obviously. You could, what's the word? Get the post-study visa, and however you use that is totally up to you. It's not like there is one clause you sign that 5 years of my life belongs to you also. So it's not like that. Does that answer the question? Ah, awesome.
Yeah,
I
thank you so much.
You're
So I don't
welcome.
know if we, apologies for cutting it short. So thank you so much. I don't know if you have any further question because we are some minutes behind, like maybe 5 minutes behind schedule, but like we can still accommodate one or two questions if we have any.
Ouch. It looks like I wasn't able to convince people why Erasmus is a good scholarship. Well, it is what it is.
Okay, all right. In the absence of any question, I would like to probably appreciate. Okay, there's a question for you.
Abdul Shakur. Yes, actually, that's also another benefit of the program. So initially, it used to be a max of 3 programs that you should not apply for more than 3 programs. But I think last year it was lifted, so you could literally apply for every program on the list. But you obviously would not want to do that because, as much as possible, you should apply to programs where you have an advantage. I don't know if that makes sense. And also, some programs would ask you, did you apply to like any other programs out aside from theirs? I honestly have no idea what they use that information for, but I mean, it's information, so I'm letting you know. So the answer in summary is yes, you can apply to more than one program for a year. You should also not worry about things like application fee and the likes. If I'm not wrong, maybe only 1 or 2 programs would maybe mandate you to pay an application fee, but for the rest, it's like totally free. So it's like you really do not have any excuse. Sorry, it's not everybody go come Europe. I take that back. So it's really a stress-free method of application, if that makes sense. And also one more thing is you get this preferential treatment, they call it. Yeah, when you are getting your visa and the likes, because it's like EU is literally backing you. So for context, if you are applying for self-sponsored for all these Europe schools, it's not really straightforward and it's not really easy. But with this scholarship, you sort of like just get an easy pass, submit, it gets approved almost without any questions. Is there any form of age limit? Not really. I haven't come across anything. What I'm mainly interested in is this person fit to study? Is he able to study? Does he have the necessary background? That's just it. So I've seen people that are working and then they came back to school and they got the degree. That's also fine. But at the end of the day, if you're able to sell yourself, you're fine. But again, this might be program specific. So as much as possible, please go through the information on your program of interest.
All right. Thank you so much for your time and for the. I mean, I used to think I know Erasmus, but like from what we spoke about now, I could tell that yes, I did not know Erasmus as much as I think I do. Jazakumullah Khan for your time and for the
Right.
knowledge that it does. So if it is okay with you, this is more like a request. Like if you have some of us that want to apply to Erasmus, is it fine if we reach out to you to help us review our documents and just provide some guidance?
Um, sure. I probably do not mind, but it might not. Okay, yeah, I certainly do not mind. Any other follow-up thoughts would happen if and when anyone reaches out. Just to end this session because I know I'm already like way above my time limit. Sorry. As much as possible, try to remain, if really a postgraduate degree is what you want, please seek more information as much as possible. Every now and then you will probably get a love letter. It's fine. Everyone gets a love letter. By love letter, I mean rejection letter. It's totally fine. If anything, it's a way of building you, preparing you for the next application season because you should ask yourself questions like, oh, what could I have done better and the likes. And it's a journey of continuous improvement. You should not prepare one CV and think, oh, you've prepared the best CV in the world. You should continuously, what's the word, improve it. And for those that have already graduated, now you probably have some more time. Hopefully, it's not like you're preparing for your thesis or the likes. So as much as possible, try to get more enroll in courses, all these Coursera and the likes that would put you in a better position for your chosen field of study. And lastly, when do applications typically commence? I think some applications would probably be open by now. So typically by November, yeah, November they start to become open, and then from April everything like closes. You have what do you call it? Interviews and the likes, then final decisions and final thoughts. Uh, Thank you so much, really, Yusuf. I'm really confused now if it's Yusuf or Ahmed, but regardless, thank you so much for
Please.
Yusuf Abi.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, thank you so much for reaching out. I think you guys are doing a very fantastic thing. You can never underestimate the potential of the benefits of being in a community like this, really. So it's never a one-man game. So please keep learning together. Basically, do things together, and inshallah, we would all succeed at the end of the day. So thank you so much again, and I wish you all the best, yeah, in your endeavors. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much for your time and the knowledge you shared with us. We appreciate it. May Allah reward you abundantly. And we wish you best of luck in your course also and your other endeavors in life. I mean, Jazakumullah. Assalamu alaikum. So, yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Brother Yusuf Adebaki, can you please confirm if you can hear what I'm saying?
Yes, I can hear you. Loud and
All right.
clear.
Jazakumullah khairan. So we are going to have Brother Yusuf, but I'm thinking we should have like maybe a 4 minutes break just for some of us, maybe stretch if that's okay. I mean, this is just a suggestion. I feel like sitting down for like over an hour listening to someone speak might probably be a lot. So inshallah we'll be starting Brother Yusuf's session by 3:10, that's in 3 minutes, inshallah. So we can use that period to just stretch and just take some rest. All right. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I hope you guys can hear what I'm saying. Can anyone confirm if they can hear me, please?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Jazakumullah khairan. I'm Bryce. We can start now if you are on the call.
Yes, I'm here. Yeah, I'm
All
here.
right. So I'll send you a text on WhatsApp as regards the time.
Okay. Sounds
But
good.
you can start. I'll just.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Can everyone hear me?
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, so like more like a brief introduction. My name is Yusuf Adebakin. I graduated from University of Lagos, and I'm currently doing my PhD in microelectronics and nanotechnology here in Purdue, United States. And I think, to be brief, that's going to be my introduction. And I've also kind of like I have more like an overview of those on the call from the first speaker. And I must also commend the first speaker with regards um, the detailed explanation he made on Erasmus. Yeah. Oh, he's no longer on call. Okay. He made a very good presentation, and that's quite precise and straightforward. And one thing I also like about Erasmus is that the flexibility is there. You can teleport into anything you want to, any country you want to go to after your program. So it's very much flexible. So my own presentation will be centered more on US, United States. Um, I think the first thing we'll probably want to do generally is to have this concluding perception on what exactly is propelling me to go for grad school. Okay. So if you can define that, I'm pretty sure the question on what country do I have to go to, what schools do I have to search for, what form of scholarship do I want to go for, you will be able to provide answers to that. And I will also say, when it comes to funding education, when it comes to pulling up funds into the whole education system, I'm really going to give it to United States. They are really pumping money. Like they are really funding several programs. And the chances of like when you want to pull up some like sample space within you getting into US within other forms of scholarship, the sample space within the US is still kind of wide, um unlike other scholarship, right? It's normal, like it's not a debate conversation, it's just what is obtainable in terms of US pumping money or funding lot of research education, lot of uh, developmental or technology, lot of STEM education or non-STEM education for development. So that being said, I'm going to be running everyone through how to navigate schools within the US portal and to know precisely what do you need, what you need to look out for, what you need to do, what are the basic information you need, how exactly can I get started. I know there are a couple of resources within their website. How can I navigate around? How can I figure out my way? So I'm going to be using two examples as case study, right? I'll use my school, and then I'll also take suggestion on call to to kind of recommend what school I can go to, because I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure the zeal and the interest to get into any of the schools may be there, and we must have gotten some names or some recommendation in mind. So I'll be asking generally to get recommendation on which of the school can I explore, which of the school can I like share what is obtainable on, and I will take it up from there. So I'm going to share my screen. I don't know. Can everyone still hear me? Am I kind of audible?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Mm, entire screen. Right. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen. Please,
Okay.
if there's anyone else that can see, can you please
Makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. Where is this space? Let me use that space. Okay. Let me use this space. So I'm going to be using Purdue. Yeah. And okay. First thing is I did electrical electronics. I'm probably going to paint myself as case study, like more like as a demo page, and I will mention a few things that might have influenced or that might have projected. Okay, what kind of school do I even need to apply to? Why Purdue? Why have I considered Purdue? Um, so you may want to do something like this. Okay, I want to go to schools in US. So let me check ranking in terms of the course I want to go for. Uh, okay, take for instance, I want to go in terms of ECE, electrical and computer engineering. You can just type on Google US ranking, ECE courses, ECE courses. So this is typically like the page. So I can probably get this is for undergrad, so I can put for ECE grad courses, graduate courses, because ECE is electrical and computer engineering. Okay, so then I'll click on these. Typically, you always get the page of highly ranked school within. Okay, I want to go for social course. Let me check the rank system. Let me check how like which of the school is the best, and how can I navigate around. So it's so obvious that for ECE, MIT is the best in US, followed by Stanford, but I'm pretty sure Purdue is within the Purdue. So Purdue is 8, right? So a couple of these actually influenced my thought process along the way. And looking at it, the intensity to get to all of those schools above Purdue, no, all of them actually. Is that is Alas Ramo? So, but the fact still remains: what influences I want to go to top ranked, and I need to figure out which of the schools that are within that scope. How can I streamline my my options at the end of the day? How what should equally influence the school I'll be picking at the end of the day? So you can use this page to know what is the state or the status. And I'm pretty sure the status of the school will sometimes influence your visa processing at the end of the day before entering US. So when you get to highly top ranked school, you may not even need to do a lot of explanation about, okay, why do you choose this school, because most likely the VO or the visa officer trying to interview you already know a lot about the school. So you don't have to start explaining, oh, I'm going to MIT. Well, who wants to ask you what's MIT? No, no, no. So I'm going to Stanford. Who wants to ask you why are you going to Stanford? They may ask. It's just asking doesn't necessarily mean um uh, to checkmate you in one way. They just want to know if you are truly the owner of all of this application, right? Um, because they already know that before you get into all those schools, it's something rigorous. It's something kind of engaging. So I picked Purdue because Purdue happens to be a public school within US, and they accommodate people, and they have one of the cheapest graduate costs, and they have one of the largest ECE course in the whole of US, but they are ranked 8th and 4th best engineering program. Okay, so that being said, so I'll start with Purdue. I'll go to the website. The course I want to do is electrical and computer engineering. So I can just spell it out on Google, electrical, or just type ECE. You can use the abbreviation ECE Purdue. So this is the website, Elumore Family School of Engineering and Computer Engineering, Elumore Electrical and Computer Engineering. I'm sorry for using Purdue. I just want you guys to familiarize generally about how the process works, or what should influence your thought process. So this is the current head of the department. It was appointed few months ago, a few weeks ago. Yes. So this is the page of the school, electrical and computer engineering. Anything you need, any information you need, I just trust the process. You can always get it here. Every single details. But the question mark is, how can I navigate easily to get the required information I want? And what are the most important information you need to get? Okay. So I think what will project you to navigate around will be, what kind of track are you looking into? Do you want to do a master's? Do you want to do a PhD? And in Purdue, there are several like tracks. We have masters with projects, masters with thesis, masters with courseworks, and they also have PhD, right? So they have 3 types of masters, and they have one form of PhD, so which is typically research. It's not even debatable. So we can always check around the academics, right? So we can check, okay, like exactly. So we have for the academics, this is the undergrad, this is the grad program. For grad program, there is 4+1, meaning if you are running your undergrad, there is also like an avenue for you to do +1 year. Instead of you graduating in your 4th year, you can do +1 and then earn a master's with your BSc together. So that means you'll be graduating with a bachelor's and then a master's together. So I'm pretty sure for Yusuf, I'm pretty sure if Unilag is doing this kind of program, he should be doing his master's now. Okay. And we also have masters like project track. Project track simply means you do the required courseworks, and then you do a project at the end of the day, which will be worthwhile. Just quite similar to what we do in Nigeria. This is very much similar to what we do in Nigeria. We do something, we do all our coursework to year 5, and then at the end of year 5, we do more like a project work, or we do more like a thesis work. It's called thesis basically, but sometimes your thesis could revolve around projects, you doing something handy, you doing something hardware, but it could also involve around research, around software. So this is the project track. You also have the thesis track, you're making research. You also have the online track. So most times the online track may come as a thesis and non-thesis. So the point of all of this is just to inform what should be my decision. What exactly do I want to go for? So for master's program, you click on it. For this, you click for PhD. But I'm currently doing a PhD program, which I'm currently doing a direct PhD. So I may want to, I don't know. I think any of the option works, but for demo sake, let me click on the PhD. Oh yeah, this is this lab. Okay, so for the PhD, every single information I need, they are here. So the admission guide will tell me what exactly is needed for me to get into the school of this. Okay, so for the PhD program, okay, so On-campus applicant, for fall applicant, December 1. So all of the deadline process, how applications are kind of reviewed. Do not email faculty to inquire about your application status. This means you don't have to like pestering or keep sending several mails to professors that you want to know your application status. You no, do not. And that is what is kind of indicated here. And there's also statement of equality, how to apply every single information you need, required document, the GRE requirement, the TOEFL requirement, the IELTS, admission requirement, the GPA requirement, English proficiency, all information you need, and even how you get your funding opportunities, they are on the website, right? So few of the information you may want to get on this page may be to know what is your area of interest. So I go back, then I come to research area. Because I want to do a PhD program, I kind of need to check what research area I'll be within the field of ECE, automatic controls, communication networking, signal and image processing, computer engineering, fields and optics, and this is my microelectronics and nanotechnology. Okay, so to know further, you can click on any of those guys, get all the information needed, get everything you need to know. Just get yourself kind of familiar a lot with with the data on that website. Then definitely you also want to look into the admission requirements which I've showed earlier. And then you also want to look into the application deadline of the program you want to apply to. And okay, so that being said, after getting all of those information on the website, we are human. We have this curiosity or being inquisitive, trying to know. We have this adrenaline in us that, am I sure I have all the information on the website already, or I still want to explore other options? So I'm always, most times I recommend that if after checking all of the websites, try to establish communication with the school. Like try to have that feel that you're already communicating with the process. And that is, I always recommend that you go to the contact information of the department you are planning to go to. So let me go to home. Right. So let me go to so about us, no, our people. Okay, our people. So let me go to the directory. Directory means the database of people working within the. Okay, this gives me a broader view, so I can make it specific. Let me go to administrative office. So this will streamline it to people within the administrative area. So, okay, good. So I always recommend that you try to reach out to the graduate program coordinator of any department you want to go to. I think when I was applying, I reached out to about 50, about 50 schools, right? Or many. It's a lot. I can't remember vividly, but I know it wasn't less than 50. So I reached out to them, and I think about 45 or 47 responded. So it's a function that you've initiated the conversation with them, you've commenced the conversation. Like even that vibe, you start getting the vibe that, oh, okay, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. So there are a set of questions that are recommended that you ask them during your mail or when trying to send them or communicate with them. Ask them questions around, is GRE compulsory? Do we need TOEFL to get funding? What are the funding requirements? What's the earliest application deadline? Do I need a master's to apply for PhD? Any question that you just want to ask them any. They will be so glad to respond. They'll be very happy to respond. They will even be eager to respond. And some of them, if they feel that the school website already contain all of the information you need, they will just send you the link to the school website, but just anticipate a response from them. So when you do that, you're already putting yourself within the realm of grad school. So specifically, who is now, like, let's check who is the graduate program coordinator for ECE. Aha, so this is the graduate office. So that means to contact the graduate office. So this is the graduate program coordinator. You always find their details and information. This is the mail. So if you want to get information, you can send to this person. I'll go, Matt. Okay, yeah, he's a very good resource. Okay, sorry, he's a very resourceful person. He has a lot of information about the school, so you can send a mail to him if you want to make further inquiry, or ask further questions about Purdue, ECE, and then that's also still applicable to other schools or other departments. Now, this is math is for PhD, and then this lane is for masters. So to get more inquiry, some schools will categorically spell it out. This is for PhD, this is for masters, while some school will just give this is the program coordinator. So either for masters or PhD, be so sure to get response from them. Okay, so that being said, what other information do you need? And the next is, I think it's kind of important to look at how can I navigate getting potential advisor. Okay, I'm currently doing microelectronics and nanotechnology within the ECE department. And then I also want to navigate around, okay, what kind of professors are in ECE? What kind of professors are in microelectronics and nanotechnology? What kind of professors are in other areas? I'm not going to use microelectronics as case study, like my own track. I think I'm probably going to use automatic control. I had Malam Kosi mentioning something regarding controls. Abi?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I'm going to use control as case study to kind of to be specific. So my people, there are several ways for my people. When I go to faculty, then I will be able to see tons of professors within the department, but that may not give me directly I want to go into automatics, I want to go into control, I want to go into microelectronics. These are professors within the department. Professor Alam, Professor Alibaj, Professor Apez. Okay, this is this man. Really? Of money, big man. Bakshi, those are the one I know that I've took the I did some of their courses. So okay, so these are professors generally within thank you. These are professors within the ECE department, but it may be cumbersome for me. And you can also see that they don't have their research area spelled out almost immediately at your first site. So I may want to restrict it or streamline it to going through the area of interest, which is this side. So I can click on automatic controls. Then it will definitely give me professors within automatic controls. So all of these professors you are seeing, they are all automatic. They are all within the fold of automatic controls. So you can always click on any of them to check, okay, what is their specific area in automatic control. So for this, is working on power and energy systems, automatic control. And this is the way it is for all other departments, regardless of the department you want to go to. Just find a way around that. Information about the information about professors you may want to reach out to, information about things you may want to do within the school, or information you want to need within the school, you can always get it on their website. So all of these professors, they are working on research. Yeah, Professor Zach. They are working on research within the fields of automatic control. For microelectronics, you can see these are professors within microelectronics and nanotechnology. And this is my own advisor. And so generally, professors So these are just professors within. So you can pick any one of them, reach out to them, maybe minimum of two, perhaps, or maximum of two, but try as much as possible not to send like messages to a couple of to many, because all of them, they are colleagues. You never can tell the kind of conversation that comes out, that the kind of conversation that they have most times. So they may, if it kind of if they observe that this person message you, this person, some of them speak with their colleagues on, oh, I got mails from this number of students. I don't know how exactly I want to do it. What would be your recommendation? Help me review their CV. And then upon sending your CV to another advisor, then the advisor discovered that I also got a mail from this person. Then who exactly do you want to work with? And not just tell me that you are interested in everybody within the department. You need to have a niche. You need to have focus, area of focus. Okay. So that's for Purdue. So at this point, I don't know. You can interrupt, or at times interrupt. And just stop me to ask questions if you want to make any clarification. So let me stop here on Purdue, and I'll take recommendation. I'll take few questions now, then go to the next form of school and another course entirely, and see how we can navigate around. So is there any question for me?
I still have a question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much for this session. This first, I would like to ask for the link to get like the ranking of the universities.
I'll post it now. Okay.
And for some of us, like, how is the best way to decide what field to go into?
Okay. Uh, when I was graduating, I also have interest in a couple of areas. I'm not kind of surprised with the question you asked, because the system in Nigeria is the system we all went through in Nigeria. Nurture us to be course oriented, like pass your courses, do your courses. We are not kind of nurtured to pick like area of research, area of interest, area of to navigating. We try as much as possible to do, and that's why I say that many people do things outside their field sometimes. Some will study business administration, at the end of the day doing something on coding, doing something on programming. So what will influence that most times could be the kind of work you do towards the end of your towards the end of your bachelor's. That means your project, your final year project. What kind of thing did you, what exactly did you work on? And then what may also influence is what kind of experience have you gotten in the past? Another thing that may influence is what exactly do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What is a what do you just have? What do you have interest in? Then, and sometimes some people may have illusion, like an area that seems to be more like it doesn't really exist. So the next is for them to start streamlining. Okay, what's likable area that, okay, when I do this, I can still become this at the end of the day. So you may want to bounce on your final year project. What have you worked on in the past? What have you done? What's your what do you always have interest in generally? And one beautiful thing in school abroad is that there will always be a niche for you. There will always be somewhere to put you in, right? There will always be, okay, this is of interest to me. There will always be something for you. Let me use that word. There will always be something for you, as long as you decide. So you may want to use those factors. You may want to consider those factors to influence the scope of what you want to do at the end of the day. And then most importantly, you need to do something that will be of interest to you. You don't want to go into depression as early as possible. Don't, yeah, you're not doing something that is of interest. You definitely not going to be happy. You will always find reason to question why you are doing it. Right? You may not want to fall into that scope and ensure you do something that is of interest to you. Yeah. I don't know if that answers the question. Madam Shako.
Thank you very much. It does, but I still have one more question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, so, like, in deciding whether to go for a straight PhD or a master's, so I asked someone, and he was saying like it's better to go through the master's route because of transition and culture shock. But someone that went there for PhD, that's what I want to do too. So I don't know. What's your advice? What
Okay.
are factors I should consider before
There
deciding?
is no fixed. Okay, yeah, that's a very good question actually. So there is no fixed answer to this, right? It boils down to individual personality, but I'll try to be just with my response. Okay, I if I'm not mistaken, if I stand to be corrected, I think US is one of the major country that allows a direct PhD program from your bachelor's. Based on that option, and based on that option, there are still kind of allowances for you to earn a master's along the way. Okay, maybe you graduate, you have your bachelor's in Nigeria, and then you're opportune to get a direct PhD program in US. Along the course of you completing your PhD program, there are options. There may be options for you to do. Most times, there are options for you to earn a master's along the way. You just get your master's. It's just as if you going through the master's route too. And then what may influence a couple of those thoughts? Take for instance, you're an investor. Yeah, let me use a generic process. You're an investor, and then someone wants to invest in you. And that's a typical example of an advisor finding interest in you, wants to hire. Because an advisor finding interest in you is as if they want to hire you. Okay. Tell me, who are you going to give preference to? Is this someone that will spend 2 years with you, or someone that will spend 5 years with you? You may calculate that this person I'm just being neutral, and then, like, I don't want to have any form of, I don't want to fuse any form of influential, like, concept here. Let's take for on a neutral ground. You have someone that will spend 2 years with you, and you have someone that will spend 5 years with you, and you have the perception that both of them can be productive. Okay, and both of them don't really have good understanding of what they are coming to do. So I need like 1 year to train the person. So does that mean the person spending 2 years with you will only have 1 year more for you to utilize the knowledge you've passed to him, or the person that will be having 4 years more? So logically, it gives this sort of solace to professors or advisors to be ready to fund PhD than a master's program. I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying sometimes the influence on funding PhD program may be higher because you have longer time to spend than a master's program. And more reason when you go through different websites within maybe different school websites, most of the departments will categorically tell you that we fund all our PhD students, because they feel that you're going to be spending longer time, and if at the end of the day all your credentials are worthwhile and they kind of pick you, we are rest assured that we can fund you till the end of your program. Unlike masters is maybe 2 years or 3 years max, depending on how you want to make it, how you want to extend the whole program. So they may feel reluctant to fund a master program, except you coming into the master's program with a ready-made understanding that you already know what to do. Like the advisor or the whole system doesn't really have to train you for longer time before you get on what you are meant to do. The 2 years you'll be spending within the school, you are hoping to do something significant. Aha, right. So generally, people consider PhD offer because of funding availability. And then for the master's program, it's a 50-50 chance. The PhD too is a 50-50 chance, right? But it's still more of 80-20. That when you get a PhD, um, even some people will tell you, can get, if I don't get funding in PhD, if I don't get funding for my PhD program, I cannot do PhD. I cannot spend a lot of money to earn a PhD. Some people will tell you categorically. So masters is just like a short course. Do this, get you can decide on what next to do. Some people don't get funding for their masters, but at the point when they want to start their PhD, they get funding. Why some people they were so fortunate to get funding for their masters and also their PhD. Why some people they get funding for their masters and they teleport into the industry at the end of the day. Why some they didn't get funding for their masters and they teleport into industry. So it depends on how uh, some people don't need funding. Yeah, some people are so some people are so rich that they don't need funding. So you may just apply if you have a very good credential and you meet all the application requirement, you may just apply to the master's program and then you're kind of sure of completing within 2 years and you find your way to industry. So it depends on what you want to use as a yardstick for the kind of program you want to go for. All right. So I don't know if that answers the question, Malam Shako.
Yes, it does. It does. Thank you.
Sounds good. Malam Ahmad, Malam Yusuf, yeah, with you.
So
Walaikum salam.
yes, so my question is going to be like two to three questions. First is I know, like you rightly said, funding. I don't know if we've walked through like the funding part of it. Maybe we could just look at that. Then another question I want to ask is, I know there's always this thing like acceptance rates, like when you're checking the rank for schools. So does it what do you say?
Monge Ben, yeah, that's a very good question. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, does it really I know it matters, but like on what, like how should one gauge it? And my last question would be that um like if you know you are going to apply to grad school, when is the ideal time to start sending code emails for those that want to maybe apply for PhD? Like when is the ideal time to start sending?
Okay. So let me start with the acceptance rate. One thing you should be one thing you should that's a very good question. Yeah, there are schools with very low acceptance rates. And you should kind of expect that schools within top 20, right, to have a very low acceptance rate. Because partially, okay, the way we have, I don't know if everybody understands Yoruba on the call. Maybe, I don't know. So the way we have Unilag, OAU, Uniloring, UI, maybe Footmina. I'm sorry, Malam Abishaku. Maybe Footmina, maybe. So as the way we have all those schools, yeah, all those top schools are generally in Nigeria. You have this perception that an average Nigerian will want to go to that school. So which already makes it competitive. So everybody wants to go to the school. And then when you check the database of those going into those applying to the school, what you most likely see is there are top students from high schools within Nigeria wants to consider those schools. So that makes it very competitive. And no school we want to use side eyes to look at applications that are very, very good. Same is also applicable here. All those top schools, they are schools that normally an average American will want to go to. So using this same Kenya as case study, this MIT page. So okay, let me go back. So after getting the ranking, I can get all other information on the same website, on the same page. So I'll just click on the school. I'll click on the name. Then I can read few things about them. These are like their school fee on average. This, and then I can go down. The acceptance rate for masters is 17.6%. Meaning out of those that will apply, this is the percentage that they're most likely going to bring in. And you should also expect a lot of people to apply to that school. I think Purdue had about maybe 12,000 people or so, 12, I think more than that applied to their programs. And those that they will admit at the end of the day, they are less, even sometimes maybe less than 150 in terms of each department. 150, look at the ratio between 150 to 12,000. So you may also want to phantom those stuffs in. Like you also want to put those things into consideration before picking school. There are schools with high acceptance rates, no doubt. But when you check the ranking, if you don't really matter about what's the rank of this school, category, sorry, I'm checking your back. What's like this status of this school, what's the rank, what's the position? If you don't like, if it doesn't really matter to you, then I believe any of the option works. Okay, let me also show you guys this. Yes, school rank. Let me see, is it this? Okay, so these are school ranking generally, not even by course now. These are just school ranking generally. So you may want to check within, okay, showing me 400. You may want to check within, like, try to gauge, okay, I don't want to go, my consideration is not, I'm pretty sure schools between 1 to 30, they'll be very competitive with a very less acceptance rate. How about I consider schools within 35 to 50? So you can use this page, you can make this page to influence some of the decisions you pick at the end of the day, but it's very important to consider the acceptance rate before applying. I think the next question was, when is the typical time? When is the typical time to send
Emails.
to advisor? Okay. Okay, the first is you may not want to target their peak period, because I must say, yeah, even before coming, I also have that person. Why am I not going to get a response? I think they should also see the mail. Like, it's kind of normal for them to, they should be able to respond. But on getting here, I realized that those advisors or those potential advisors get tons of mails every day. Tons of mails every day. Like, even to the point that they've done some sort of filtering on their email page. If your mail is not kind of careful, it gets into the spam, or it gets into another box that they may not even check for longer years. They may not even check, or the next they will just do is they will delete all the mail in that box. They'll only work with the most important. So I will recommend that you target very close to the end of the semester, right, before sending your cold mail, or very early in the semester before sending your cold mail. Now we're currently having our spring break. Hopefully by May, the whole session we round up with the whole semester, so you can start shooting your shot there as at that time. Although they'll be busy because some of them will be going through some sort of grading. However, that's one of the best times they have open mind to consider things outside academics. And then your application is still like things outside academics, because it's like hiring, it's like having conversation, having an interview with you. They may have those chances to do that. If they don't have that time, I doubt it if they will be able to. So you may want to target early January-ish, January, February. You may also want to target July, May, June, July, summer period. You may also want to target, yeah, those are the basic period. But however, those periods I mentioned doesn't eliminate the fact that you can send your mail anytime. You can send it, you never can tell. Maybe when you send it in August or when you send it in my home code mail that I got a couple of responses. I forwarded most of them around September, October. So there's no fixed period. I'm only making a recommendation based on how I kind of view the process now. The new development or the new perception, I think, may work fine. Targeting early part of the semester, because as at that time, professors are just trying to get on board with their coursework, and they're also targeting towards the end of the semester, because at that time, professors are rounding up with their coursework, so they have time, maybe time for other stuff. So, and I think the third question, I don't know.
Yeah, something around funding, maybe where to find funding information.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. For the funding information, I think let me use another school. So can anyone make recommendation of, okay, maybe I've been high in this school, I really want to go to this school. Can anyone make recommendation? Olajide, Afso, Fatima, Abidin, Abdushakor, Abdubaki. Can anyone make recommendation on Texas A&M? Okay. Fatima, do you want to say something?
No. I don't have a recommendation.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay, Texas A&M. I think I checked that school sometime. I think I also did I apply? I'm not sure. Texas Agriculture and Mechanical something. Yeah, I also apply. So you just go to Google, click on. It's also a very good school. I must say, like they have like a very good program. Ọ̀tún máa ń sún mi lọ́rọ̀ àwọn school mi yẹn. Ó kàn wọ́n ti máa ń switch jọra wọn jù. Okay. I'm sorry, let me check. I want to check their ranking. What was their position within? They are ranked 47 within national. No, 47, really? Okay, look at the acceptance rate of this 63%. Can you see the difference? The acceptance rate of this school is 63%. The one for MIT is 17.6. So it's a lot different. So you will also want to consider, okay, 20 top public schools, 71 best value. Yeah, I think they're also. So I will just go to their website, Texas A&M. Okay. So typically, this is the way it works. There are funding opportunities ignited by the school. There are funding opportunities ignited by the department you are going to. But typically, within the department you are going to, there are two statutory, let me use that word. No, there are three statutory form of funding. The first is maybe a research assistant, the second teaching assistant, and then the third fellowship. So most of the department, they will have either two of these three, or three of three, or one of three. There will shall always be a funding process within those three options with regards any department you want to go to. So now after we've gotten suggestion in terms of school, can anyone suggest course that we can check for? Like course to get, what are the funding requirements for this course? Can anyone suggest course?
Maybe computer science. Do you have computer science?
Right, let me check. I'm not sure. Don't worry. Okay, they may not have it. They may not have it as college or school. Let me check it as a course or a major or minor program. So search for all graduate program. Okay, so let me search for program computer. Yeah, they have. Okay, they have okay, you said computer science, right? Okay, they have. So for computer science, this is their stuff. Do you mean a master's or a PhD program? Abidi?
You can just check for PhD. I don't think they have direct PhD.
No, okay. Not so sure. I don't know. Okay, so for their PhD program, PhD computer science, asking me to apply now or visit the program website. Let me check the program website. Okay, so prospective student resources. Okay, so funding opportunities within the program and funding for grad school. We have award and travel funds. Yeah. Most of them used to have this. It's just for you to claim back your money. These are university fellowship. These are external fellowship. So university fellowship are fellowships that um, they are, for instance, Malam Shako finished from Footmina, if I'm not mistaken. Then he he became a philanthropist, a very big philanthropist at the end of the day, and they decided to create uh, Abdul Shakur Foundation. Then going back to Fitmina to keep pulling up funds for any student that are unable to fund their program. So those kinds of stuff are called like university fellowship, but external fellowship are like companies. However, individual can also be external depending on how you want them to place your form of fellowship, college fellowship, and like. So you see what I'm saying? Commonly, financial assistance received by grad school are through graduate assistant, research and teaching. So those two are most times available within departments and so good. They also have the third one, graduate assistant. So the graduate assistant is neither a research or a teaching. You are only using your skill set to work within the department. For instance, maybe you are very good in data science. The department can hire you to help them manage the data of all students within the department, and you keep using all your data tools, SQL, as the case may be, your Linux environment command, Bayen, and you also get funding through that. You also get funded rather through that. So specific, you can typically you get funded through TA, RA, or GA, right? All of them are form of assistantship, and you can also get through fellowships. So, I'm pretty sure all information needed are within. So examples of college, university fellowship, external fellowship, award and travel, with succinct explanation. And if anyone seems not to be clear, please do not hesitate to reach out to the graduate program coordinator. They will be very much willing to assist. Now that we are on computer science page, let's check the graduate program coordinator. Like, how can we navigate? We check that of ECE Purdue. Let's check that of computer science. Okay. The computer science is under College of Engineering in Texas A&M. Okay, makes sense. So let's go to their website. Okay. Then we go to people. Then we'll go to staff. So staff is asking us to really. Sorry. Okay. So this staff, let's see who the program coordinator. Can you see? Program coordinator. So every single school only one. Hey, every single school they have people like that. So just check through. But try to ensure that anybody you'll be reaching out to, the description written below, name or write program coordinator, or program director, graduate program director, graduate program coordinator. So like this person. So if I want to reach out to Texas A&M College of Engineering, this is the best person for me. And sometimes when you are unable to find the program coordinator for your department, sometimes it's possible maybe after checking all through, you're unable to get it, then you can check for the whole of engineering. Sorry, I'm using engineering as case study. Maybe after checking engineering, after checking electrical engineering, I was unable to find. Then I can check the whole of engineering. Like I'll check the whole of engineering, the program coordinator for the whole of engineering, and mail the program coordinator. What is most likely is that the program coordinator will forward your mail to the program coordinator for electrical so that you can get the perfect response you need to your questions. So do not hesitate. Try to reach out. Try to ask them questions. Ask them questions about funding if you are not clear. Ask them. Just ask them any set of questions you are not clear about. They'll be very much willing to respond. So I don't know if that answers the question, Malam Yusuf.
Yes, it does. Jazakumullah khairan. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time. I don't know if there are any further questions before we move on to the next segment. Okay. I'll be taking that as a no. Jazakumullah khairan for Bryce. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. I pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you abundantly and continue to make your work easier for you and put barakah in all your process.
I mean, yeah, a very quick nugget. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me to discuss this. But one thing I also want to mention in line with what the first speaker mentioned in terms of scouting for scholarships is that I think you have to be deliberate to make some sort of change. Just be intentional. Have convincing reason to start. So if you don't have convincing reasons to start, develop, maybe if that's what you have interest in, at the point of you doing it, develop an interest. If you don't do that, I'm pretty sure when you start getting some sort of rejection, or you are not getting response to what you are doing, or you are not getting the feedback you want, or you have interest in, there will be this sort of depreciation in terms of interest level, and it may be difficult for you to continue or pull up the same vibe you commenced with. So generally, I would recommend keep having this internal conviction as you are doing it, and expect nothing spectacular. Just keep doing the process based on the passion you have or based on the interest you have. If interest could also be you want to use it to japa, right? That's an interest. If that's the interest, put every effort into it. If you want to japa is the focus, put all effort into it, and then find your way, and then keep praying. Most importantly, Allah is the best planner. A short code that says, "We human we propose stuff. Allah is the best of disposers." So I pray Allah will make it an easy one and grant us what we want, our heart desire, and how exactly we anticipate or view all of these processes, and make it an easy one for us. I mean, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakumullah khairan, brother. So, I'll be calling on our cousin to give us like a general announcement, then we can call it a day.
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Um, Firstly, like to appreciate our speaker. So it was really a beneficial session. Um, for that we have gained a lot of things in terms of how we can navigate around the school portal and the best way to reach out to professors or directors or what do you call them, coordinators to get the best information that's around like the application or all. So basically my announcement um, is from the 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 team that actually brought us here together. So we thought of having something like a a sort of a way to apply what we have learned, so which is actually how we are going to be moving. So basically, we've learned how to search for schools, how to know that these schools are actually like right for you, it's the best for you, and all. So I think that's actually very necessary. And what we thought of doing is that everyone comes up with like a list of 10 schools that that are applicable to them based on their own program. So there's a tracker, so which would actually help you in terms of the processes to know where the points you are at in a particular application and what you have done, what you have not done. I'll just share my screen to show you the okay, show you the tracker. So this is what it looks like. This is it. Sorry, can you see my screen? Hello, salam
Yes, I can
alaikum.
see your screen.
Okay. Yeah, so this is the way it works. So after going through all of those processes, like you searched for a school that works for you. For example, like this part is for the university. You have to state the name of the university, the country, the degree program, whether it's a master's or a PhD, then advisors, the list of your advisors, their email address, then the interest, research interest, departments, advisor departments, link to the department, mechanism and details of funding. So these are basically things that are tied to the particular application. And if you feel that there's a particular thing that has not been captured there, you can actually you can add it up to there. So because everyone will have a different tracker. So you have one for yourself so that you work for the application, you get to track it. So this is a way of me knowing how far or like how far everyone has actually reached. So and it's actually the best way for you to keep track as well. So I can keep looking at it and see for yourself how far you have gone, what you need to do. I need to write my IELTS, I need to write my TOEFL, I need to write GRE and all sorts of things, and I've not done it. So, like the timeline to kind of give you a clue of okay, I need to do this before this time so I can get it submitted and all of those things. So these are things that you need to capture in Straka, and they help you. They help you in making your application more effective, and then you won't get to stress yourself too much because if you keep a lot of information in your head, just stress yourself and you may not achieve the best. So that's why we are introducing this. And the first step is just basically to look for all of the informations that you need for a particular school, for a particular program, and get to fill them in this tracker, and then you can take it on from there. So we still get the opportunity of getting a mentor who is going to who is going to mentor us. So it won't be like a general thing like all the time. So there'll be a stage where you get someone to mentor you. So and all of these things actually they contribute to whether you get that mentor or not. Because there are things that we use to know if someone is actually serious, and we can actually give the we can give that person a mentor, because these mentors are people that are actually very busy and which would not want to waste their time. So I think so we are expecting that we come up with like a list of 10 schools, and all of the information tied to the school. So using this tracker. So I think that should be all for me. Yeah. I hope you got the announcement. Assalamu alaikum. Hello, did you get the announcement? Brother Abu Shakur, can you hear me? About moving speaking to myself. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam wa barakatuh.
Ah, sorry, did you hear me at all?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, okay, okay. Did you get the announcement I made?
No, 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 I don't get what you're saying.
Yeah? Like, did you get the announcement I made? Like, the task that we were meant to do?
Yes, I'm filling out our. We have at least 10 schools to fill so
Okay.
that we can know the
Okay.
status of the
Exactly.
application. And you're showing the tracker already.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's basically it. Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah. Thank you so much for attending the session. Just call out to make it beneficial to all of us, and to uh, to uh, to make to count us success in all of our endeavors. In this world and in the earth. Subhanakallah wa bihamdik. أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته